Hello YouTube, this is Quadtastic here. This is my review for the EV200D. Just received this the other day, had a little chance to have a little bit of a play of it. Didn't actually come with any antennas, and obviously all the outputs on this are RP SMA, and all my antennas are actually SMA, so let's postpone that. But just initially, I did actually make a very basic antenna, just trying to squish a regular dipole in there just for the time being. Seems to work fine. Coming from the EV800D, just do a little size comparison here. You can see there's quite a bit of difference between the size of the two. You know, the weight is about half the weight. I think the EV800D weighs in at about 340 grams, something like that. Whereas you've got this one weighing in, it's just under, I think it's 160, something like that. So it's, it's definitely a lot lighter. Batteries, obviously the battery weight is now on the rear end here, which I think is a lot better. You've got a battery tester as well, so you can click this and you can see the blue lights indicating that it's fully charged. Yeah, I mean it's been a good little headset so far. Just give that a little look, if you can just see. You've got the. What I will say, just because this is just an initial review, I'm going to be doing a full teardown review at some point. But this is just a quick initial, just to give you guys an idea if you're thinking about getting this. It seems alright, but if you are coming from, like me, if you're coming from the EV800D, you will find that the picture is a lot smaller. The other thing you'll find as well, which I found particularly weird, was each screen on the EV200D holds part of the image. So if you look at one side, you'll see that you've got half, the left hand objects of your OSD, and then if you look on the right hand, you'll see you've got objects of the right hand side. So in order to see a complete picture, your eyes have to do this joining thing where it joins the two images together. It's not preferable, I would say, for everybody. But once you get used to it, it does feel like you're going a little bit cross-eyed, but you can get used to it, and it does seem alright. Like I said before, the main big difference for me is the size of the screen. The EV800D, absolutely fantastic. You've got a very large screen there. People complain, they say that if you've got too much peripheral, that you're finding you have to move your eyes and you're having to look around the screen to see elements on the screen. I find that I'm actually different with that. I can actually maintain a very central gaze and still pick out elements in my peripheral that are useful to me. So, it's 6 and 2 3s depending on who you are and your flying style and your preference for how you like to view things. But yeah, the EV200Ds, there's a bit of a reduction in the size of the screen, but if you can cope with that, generally they seem all right. Let's see, what else is there? Yes, the colour aberration. I believe Kebab FPV, he mentioned this. He said that when you turn quickly, you notice that the colours spread. I forget, there's a correct term for that. But basically, when you turn quickly, you'll notice that the colours ever so slightly. It's like they. On a 3D film, if you've ever seen a 3D film where they separate the colours on the edges of the objects, and you've got the cyan and the magenta, it's a little bit like that. So, and you can only really notice it when you're turning quickly. So if you're doing like a yaw spin or something like that, you'll notice it quite prominently. But if you're just very gently flying, you probably won't notice it as much. What else is there? Let's see. It seems very well constructed. I was initially worried that it would be quite cheap plastic, but it doesn't. It seems very strong. That's reassuring. It did come with a number of inserts to change the spacing between my eyes and the screens. I found the thinner one tends to be better, although I actually found that it works a lot better if you take out all the inserts completely. But then you have this very painful Velcro spiky thing that's lining the inside of the face mask right up against your skin, which is a little bit uncomfortable. But I reckon if you were to experiment with thinner foam, you could probably make it a very thin one that would be very nice in there. And obviously the thinner it is, the bigger the screen looks, and obviously I prefer a bigger screen. So yeah, what else have we got here? Like I say, I can't really give you a proper demonstration of all the antenna configurations and the diversity, the dual diversity as Eachine are calling it. But this is just, like I say, this is just an initial review. I mean, you can see that the two devices, you know, together, they take up a much smaller footprint. You know, if I just move these across here and just show you just the top-down view, so you can see, if I put these like, can you see that? Yeah, you've got this top-down view now, and you can see that the physical footprint of the EV200Ds versus the EV800Ds is a lot smaller. So that's good if you're the sort of person that just wants to put these in your pocket because you don't want to have to carry a bag. You know, if you were to accompany this with something like the X Lite, you know, you could have that in one pocket and you could have this in the other pocket. And you know, if you're flying like a micro drone, something like that, you could probably have one of those in a pocket, and you know, you'd be away to go. You know, you could just put on your coat and you could leave the house. Brilliant. Unlike the EV800D here, which is like carrying a brick personally, and it really does require some sort of bag to carry it. What else is there to say? I guess I could just leave it there, really. The only other observation so far, really, was the fan on the top here, this little fan up here. It's noisy, and it's not noisy because the fan's noisy. It's noisy because you can hear, people that do electronics will recognise this, it's the pulse width modulation frequency. The second you turn the fan on, you can hear this beep, like this whining sound. But it's really not that loud. I mean, I only really noticed it when I was indoors testing this out, you know, in a very quiet house. But if you're outside, you're not even going to notice it. It's not loud enough to notice. What else is there? I think that's probably about it for now. There's going to be some more testing done over the next couple of days. You can see it's raining a bit out here today. You may or may not have seen it's raining. It's a bit soggy. But yeah, once we've got a good clear day, I will get on and I will get this tested properly so all you YouTubers can enjoy. But anyway, that'll do for now, and I'll wrap this up. This is Quadtastic out.